Your goals for the audit may be different than the goals of the website owner, the company, their business goals. And if they are different and if you follow your own goals, they may not be happy. So why set goals for an SEO audit? I am a very goal-oriented person, and with everything I do, I like to have a goal in mind. And I think in SEO, especially with SEO audit, this is also a practice I would recommend you follow, because if you know what you want to achieve, all the actions you will be taking, all the analysis you will be doing will be oriented towards that goal, or you will keep that goal in mind. Now it is a time for you to simply write down what the goals of this audit are and how you are going to achieve them. So, goals will simply provide the direction and the focus of your audit. They will ensure that the audit aligns with business objectives of the website, because this is also very important. Your goals for the audit may be different than the goals of the website owner, the company, their business goals. And if they are different and if you follow your own goals, they may not be happy. So, goals will also, of course, help you prioritize tasks based on impact, resources, how possible it is for the website, their team to implement the things you are talking about. And they will make it easier to simply measure then the success of your audit, track the progress. Because as I said, in most cases, 90% of the cases, an SEO audit of that depth, that price, leads to that company, that client becoming my monthly SEO client for like 6 months, a year, 2 years, depending. So this will definitely be helpful in that respect. Of course, it will improve the communication and expectations with the clients. It will also help you identify and address the most critical issues. It will become a roadmap for then implementing SEO strategies, maybe even creating the SEO strategy, because this depth, 400 steps, where you analyze basically everything that you can analyze within a website. This is basically the SEO strategy. Once you have done this audit, you have the SEO strategy for the website. Your task is to simply prioritize, recommend the order of those things, how they're going to be implemented, which you will be, of course, doing. And for an SEO strategy, especially for a very huge website, you can charge a lot, like 15K more, 20K. If it is like some e-commerce, huge websites, like the amounts can be really crazy, because this is everything they can basically get. So that's why it is really, really important to set those goals. You don't have to spend an hour setting them. You don't have to write 300 goals, just a few simple goals, what you want to achieve, making sure this aligns with clients' expectations and their capabilities, resources, and so on. And you will thank me for that later. What are some example goals of an SEO audit you may have? The most common goal now I have is simply to analyze a traffic drop and simply be able to provide the explanation why the traffic dropped. Was it core update? Was it the failed migration? Was it something else? Was it a technical issue? And of course, provide the possible solution. Sometimes companies will reach out to you at the end of the year where they have some budget still to spend, and they will simply ask you to check the overall health of the website, how it is doing, what things could be improved. I'm very often hired by companies which already have an SEO agency. They're quite happy with the agency, but they just want to have another pair of eyes, which is experienced, more experienced maybe than the agency, and simply to maybe add something more that they could be doing. Not necessarily firing the agency, but checking what else could be done. Another common goal could be to check the technical state of the website, if there is some technical SEO debt. So this is also something that happens very often. And the audit checklist, even though there isn't specifically a chapter about technical SEO, there are a ton of technical SEO elements. And those elements, whether when something falls within technical SEO or local SEO or whatever, it will be marked within that lesson that, for example, canonicals fall under the chapter about indexation. But of course, this is a technical SEO thing. So it will, of course, be marked that this is a technical SEO kind of element. Another quite common reason is to simply look for possible quick wins. And this is something that Quora SEO tool is probably the best for. There is a separate video about quick SEO wins. You have to be careful with quick SEO wins with SEO and especially with SEO audits. I talk about that in a separate video. Another very, very common reason is they hire me to do an audit and simply to lay the grounds for an SEO strategy. And as I said, the audit of that depth is always like basically the foundation is always basically becomes the strategy, right? So that's also a very common reason. Sometimes it is simply to analyze SEO optimization, on-page SEO optimization. So this is something I like very much because this is again something where I can use Quora and on-page SEO is my favorite part. So those types of audits are also quite interesting. When I was at agency, we did a lot of audits which were simply the audit of internal linking and site architecture, and that was all I was doing. So there is a separate part for internal linking in our 400 plus checklist. So this one is very, very huge. Sometimes it could also be to check whether the site complies with Google, uh, whether it is like doing some black hat SEO things, and whether it kind of is at risk of being penalized. And another reason I can think of, another goal could be to improve the website crawling indexation. This one is for usually e-commerce huge websites which have a lot of URLs. So each of those goals will make you focus on slightly different things when auditing the website while going through all of those steps, technical, on page, and all of others. So let's say your goal is to analyze why the site lost traffic. So with that in mind, you will obviously be looking at those steps a little bit differently, and you will be probably focusing more on the things that could potentially lead to traffic loss, which could be update, Google update, technical issue, or it could be migration or some change on the website or some change in the code that resulted in problems with how the content is rendered and Google does not see the content now, for example. So those will be like slightly different things you may be focusing on. If the site lost traffic, you probably won't be obsessing about core web vitals unless the speed of the website is like 10 minutes to load. So those are the examples. You don't have to spend a lot of time on that. Simply write down those goals, as I said, and make sure you write them down after you receive the questionnaire with answers from the client, obviously, because you also want to know what they want and what their goals for the audit are. And you need to like combine your goals with their goals and make sure that the effect of what you find in the audit will be basically something that will be a win for you and a win for them. And my favorite quote of all times: you cannot hit a target you cannot see. So this is why you should always have a goal for your SEO audits.